Hey there, toy collector friends and Back to the Future fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I am the Triple TC, that is the time traveling toy collector, and today we are looking at the second of the 3 Back to the Future DeLorean time machines, this time as it appeared in the movie Back to the Future Part 2. This is produced by Welly, and it is a 1:24 die cast, mostly, scale. I say die cast mostly. I've not taken it out of the box yet, but we've had a look at the first one, which was also mostly die cast. The car itself is die cast and very, very nicely done, but a lot of the detailing around the edges and the engine area are plastic inserts. But it's strong plastic. It's a very robust car. It can take a lot of play. But before we get into the car, let's get into the packaging. And the packaging is, again, very similar to the original film packaging. Back to the Future Part 2. And this time we've got some artwork of the DeLorean in flight mode, because obviously this is the refit version as it was refitted in the future. We can also see there that there is a different take on the engines, because, of course, it now has the Mr. Fusion feature. The rest of the car looks very similar. There is another diorama we can just see. Again, the dioramas aren't particularly, well, the first one wasn't particularly well judged. I have a feeling this might be the same, but it is there. It just gives an extra bit of detailing to the packaging. And to be fair, it takes me right back to sort of 70s and 80s toy packaging, which was very similar to this. That sort of open window with, if you're lucky, a bit of artwork on the back. Frequently not in scale with the vehicle, but there nevertheless. Back to the Future Part 2 on the side with, again, the flying DeLorean. Same on this side. The top is very similar, so we're not getting any surprises. And the reverse gives us a future view of Hill Valley. And there again is some more blurb relating to Back to the Future, in particular the second installment of the film, from which we see this vehicle being derived. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is open this up and see how it fares outside of the box. I'm guessing it's attached much like the first one via screws, so I'll show you that first before getting the screwdriver out and freeing the beast itself. Okay, let's go. So here we have the car and the backdrop out of the main box, and just like the original, we can present it on this. We can also open the side panels if we lift up and spread, so it has a little bit more of an open feel to it. But again, I'm not really a fan of that. If I was going to do it, I would probably keep those tabbed in, but again, as I say, I'm not really a fan of that. You can see that we have Welcome to Hill Valley 2015, amazingly, in the future past. There is a I don't think I mentioned this about the first one, but there's a little bit of additional packaging. It was also in the first one, which is glue to the back there, but it's just some sponge to help support the car and protect it. There is some, oh, that's fine, whatever that mark was on the bonnet has just wiped off, so I'm not going to complain about it. And there's the different skyways, 20 max height, no hovering, 4 hover lanes. So lots of nice detailing there. We can see the space there for the Mr. Fusion. In the first one, we had the hook to act as a lightning rod. In this one, we absolutely have the Mr. Fusion adaptation. And if I show you the underneath, firstly, you can see where the screws are that hold the car in place, and there's the screws there. You can just about see that. And we also have this wrapped up attachment here, which, if you can see that, is a Mr. Fusion conversion unit, which will tab in, I assume, into the hole there on that. Now, I am going to have to go with a query around why it just isn't in there, why they've made it a separate piece. I suppose it's to give us some kind of additional accessory, but if I'm brutally honest, the car's good enough on its own. You don't need that. Just mould that as a single piece, because, folks, as we all know, that's exactly the kind of thing that is going to get lost to time, and is the kind of gimmicky thing that puts the, being candid with you, puts the value of this sort of thing artificially up because people go, oh, it's complete because it's got the Mr. Fusion thing there. Well, just why do we need to have it separate? It's kind of it's almost a built-in gimmick to make this more expensive down the road for other people if you wanted to sell it on. But that's just me. That's just me. I'm probably being cynical. It's been that kind of a week. Anyway, as you can see, I'm going to have to use the screwdriver to get the DeLorean off the base, which I shall do now, and then we'll have a look at it in all its DeLorean goodness. Don't touch that dial. And here we are with the DeLorean out of the packaging, and you'll see I've also attached the Mr. Fusion accessory there. So I have a couple of observations about this one that I don't share with the first movie version of the car. And they're not great observations, unfortunately. I am going to put it onto the spin mode so you can have a little look at it before I pick it up and get it in hand. But there were two things that really have disappointed me about this particular iteration of this vehicle. One is this attachment, funnily enough. Now it's actually really intricately made. It's got some translucent plastic on it, and it's been painted otherwise with the Mr. Fusion logo and so on and so forth. But it really doesn't tab in very well at all. So my point earlier on about it getting lost, now you can see it there, hopefully, Mr. Fusion, but that is translucent plastic. It only tabs in one way, which is that way. The other way it doesn't fit, but it's a very loose fit, which just, if I'm honest with you, really just serves to reinforce my earlier thought that this model would have been better off having had it pre-molded into this whole section here. This whole assembly could have just been one piece that could have just been attached to this model. The second disappointment that I have is, and it's disappointment that's sort of, it's of my own doing, if I'm brutally honest, it's of my own doing. But it's built in part based on the box art that I've already showed you, but I'll just bring it in one more time. So this is the exterior of the box. Let's just take a look at that box art. There's a big clue as to what's going to... it's not that it hasn't got any lights. I accept that it hasn't got any lights. I know that. But this iteration of the DeLorean, I was thinking the wheels are going to fold under. So I could actually have it with the wheels folded under, but alas and you see I can't turn it over properly because that falls out, so I'll try and hold that in place while I turn it over. So there's the underside, so again you can see all of the perfectly reasonable molding that goes into the underside of the vehicle, all of the licensing information, etc., and of course all the axles, etc., etc. I'll keep that there, but even that, it's just wibbly wobbly. You can see that there, wibbly wobbly, doesn't stay in. While it's in hand, we can check out the deco again, much like its mold mate from the first movie. It has the plastic wiring around the edges and under the doors. It's got the translucent plastic in for the front lights, and the DMC logo is there on display. It's very screen accurate in terms of the array of surface detailing, down to the upgrade of the engine piece, although again I've mentioned my issues with the Mr. Fusion segment, but everything else is pretty much lifted from the core parts are lifted from the original model, the original mold. You can see through the window there the dials that are on the dashboard, and if I come this side you can probably see them, the ones that are behind the steering wheel there. You can see the time circuits are there. The doors do open as with the previous mold, so you can see the time circuits in more detail there. They are coloured. We do have the nice detailing behind the steering wheel. You can probably see it a bit better in that light without the shadow. Again, we do have the flux capacitor in between the seats, but it's hard to see it there because again it's not picked out in any form of colour, so it's just a bit of plastic moulding. Would have benefited, in my opinion, from a dose of colour. Both the gull wing doors open, and they are very smooth in their opening. The mirrors are again reflective, as is the interior mirror. You can see that we've got the windscreen wipers there, so you can see that that the driver's mirror is in fact a mirror, which is, again, I do like the touch of them doing that. I really do. It's just a shame that that flux capacitor, which you can just sort of see there under the door, between the door and the windshield, isn't painted in any way. There's no decaling on that to give it, to pull the eye to it. And I think that's a shame. I think it's a missed opportunity. Given the detailing they've given to the rest of the dashboard, I don't think that would have been hard to do for them. I really don't think that would have been hard to do. So that's a bit disappointing. But I think the wheels are what's disappointed me the most. I think I was really really expecting the wheels to mirror what they're showing us on the front of the box. See, now that's how that is. It's just sticking to my finger and it just pops out. That's how loose that connection is. Again, I do think the detailing with the updated, actually this isn't the updated license plate, is it? Sorry, I was just caught off guard there. It should be more of a what do you call it, like a barcode type thing. So that's not as screen accurate as I would have liked it to be. So you see, the more I look at this second film version, the more disappointed I'm getting, because the first film version, they did it really well. It was really nice, and I really liked what they'd done with it. This one, don't get me wrong, it's my own expectations about the wheels, and I believed what I was seeing on the package would be a feature that would be included, but no, and it wouldn't have been that hard to do. Let's be honest. In the current age, it wouldn't have been that hard to have achieved that. I would have taken that over this nonsense with the Mr. Fusion thing any day of the week. It does roll really nicely. It does have some lovely heft to it. So it does, you know, it's not a light product. There's a lot going on here. Send it on its merry way again. I do think it's a really nice addition to the Back to the Future collection, because it has got the updated engine. Again, bummer about the I hadn't even twigged and registered that about the license plate. So that's again another inaccuracy, because when this one comes back from the future, it has a very different license plate, and that's when it happens, when he gets the Mr. Fusion thing done. So it is not correct. So Welly, if you're watching, tut tut, we know our license plates. Those of us in the Back to the Future fandom, we want to see a proper out of time one there. Again, in all other respects, it's a very nice vehicle. I appreciate that I'm making some what you may feel are nitpicks, and maybe they are nitpicks, but I just think if you're going to produce one for each of the 3 films, then it needs to, quite frankly, feature the key elements that play into that film, is my view. Now, the Mr. Fusion I get, but again, it didn't need to be an accessory. Make it a single unit. Yes, I know it's boring. I've said it enough times, but I'm boring myself with it. But the wheels, you know, we got a meaningful accessory in the first one, the detachable hook, which makes perfect sense because it was detachable. I think for me it's just a little bit disappointing, because there was the bar was set really high with the first version of this, and I feel that the bar has been not quite hit by this second version. And I appreciate, as I've said, some of these expectations were my own. They didn't sort of tell me that this was going to happen, except I do think if you're going to show that particular sequence on the box art, then, you know, maybe it's a good idea to actually either say wheels do not fold under or something. But I might be just becoming old and cynical in my advancing years. What do you folks think? You've watched this. You've probably seen the Back to the Future film, so you know what the expectations of the second film's car are. Am I being unreasonable? I'm happy to be told that I am. I'm happy to be told that I am if you think I am. I just think, why produce 3? Because actively there's no difference to this apart from a little remoulding in the engine, and a change of sticker, and it's not even the right sticker on the reverse of the vehicle. So that's my sort of stance on this. So if you are looking to have a series of these, be mindful of the Back to the Future Part 2 car. It may let you down if you have specific expectations. Hopefully, though, me looking at it, if you are thinking about it, will help you make an informed decision, one that I clearly didn't make when I was purchasing this. Love to hear, as ever, your thoughts in the comments down below. If you haven't already, it'd be great if you could like this video. It really helps boost it and get other people to see it and warn them about Welly number 2. And if you haven't done so, again, it would be fantastic if you could click that subscribe button, because it really helps boost the channel, and it really helps me personally get to my next subscriber milestone. It would be fantastic if you could. But if not, don't worry, I'm just glad you're here for the ride, figuratively and literally, and I just hope that you join me for another video in the near future, or have a look at some of my past videos. This is a time traveling channel after all, so linear means nothing here. Thank you for being a wonderful companion as I've had a little look through this Welly iteration of this vehicle, and it just remains for me to say I am the Triple TC, that's the Time Travelling Toy Collector. This has been the DeLorean Time Machine, mostly as it appeared in Back to the Future Part 2, and produced by Welly Toys. Thanks for sticking with me, and I will see you very soon.